we know with the TV it was a load of rubbish, but also where Harvey was involved in that. Hi my YouTube family, it's Dawn here. I hope you're all having a good start to the weekend. So let me just get into it straight away. Couple of quick things, I'll just do a quick disclaimer. My name's Dawn, you found Lounge Bar Crime. Everything you hear in this video is from my own research, it's my opinion, and it's for entertainment purposes only. That out of the way, let's get on it. Right, couple of things that I'm going to do today. I've always said right from the start that I've always felt that Harvey Adelson was involved with this and he knew about it. Now, I have sort of like been pushed sometimes, not by anybody in particular, but I suppose slightly persuaded that maybe he didn't know right at the start, maybe he found out afterwards. I've kind of gone back on that. I've gone back to where I started. I started by saying he did know about it right from the off, and that's where we are now. I mean, there's quite a lot of developments at the moment on this case, isn't it? It's all moving forward now. Fingers crossed we keep going. So you can see by the thumbnail that there is a picture of Donna and Wendi, my bestie. On that note, can I just say, I wasn't necessarily going to cover this this subject tonight. I think I was actually going to leave this like a week or two. But I've decided to do it because I did get a message from somebody who's probably out there, and they must be really, really close to Wendi, because as you know, in the past I have had people that have tried to give me pushback with regards to Wendi, even against videos that I'm not even doing about Wendi, about other people in her family, Donna, Harvey, Charlie, Magbanua, whoever. I've had people come on, and the most recent one, it was almost quite threatening in a way, sort of telling me, trying to get pushback on me and telling me that I am a B, ends in Y, not H, and that if I don't stop, they're going to make me infamous. Hence why I'm doing this video. I want to be infamous on YouTube. Do you not know that? By the way, I have got a copy of everything and I've got all their details, because I've told you before, I do keep everything like that. So yeah, let's move on. Right. So, yeah, I've always thought Harvey was involved with this only because of the amount of money that was involved in order to commit this crime. I don't really believe that this was something Donna could have decided to do without without Harvey's funds. Now, all of us have always said, most of us, let's say that, I don't want to speak for everybody, most of us have always said, without Wendy's, okay, this crime would never have happened. Most of us have believed that. I certainly have. And I want to show you now where I believe right at the start where these two things meet, i.e. we know with the TV it was a load of rubbish, but also where Harvey was involved in that. Right guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read to you the little report that the repairman put in when he visited the house, right, to fix the TV. The TV repairman. Can I just say as well, first of all, can you tell me what my audio is like? Because I know a couple of times it's been a bit iffy. I don't have anybody helping me and I'm not technically minded, as you can probably tell. Anyway, so what I want to say is, if you can hear anything like a shh, that's not the microphone. It's because I've got my editing software open while I'm reading something. So if you hear that going on and off, I'm sorry. Okay, so I'll put this up and I'll read it as well as we go along, because it is a bit, the writing's not brilliant. Sorry, Mr. Robert Swartz. Okay, here we go. So it says, upon arriving at client's home, client stated there were lines on TV. Upon inspection, I informed her there was impact damage. Although she did not get distraught, you could see in her face she was upset or sad. I remember her saying her son said he didn't do it, but she wasn't there. He was being watched by her dad at the time. Went over costs at replacement. Client stated TV was a gift from brother at some point. I believe she was texting him or someone. Talked to client about prices. She stated she would speak with someone and I left with the intent to call later about decision. Then he just says what time he was home roughly. Robert Swartz, he was called. He stated, which he wouldn't have. If you look at the date that he did that report on the 18th. Sorry, I should have pointed this out when it was up. I'll flash it back on the 18th of July 2014. We know what date that was, the day of the murder. Now, it was of no benefit for him to mention that she said her dad was there looking after them at the time. She, right, is removing herself from that excuse. I want to show you something as we get on. Both Wendi and Donna are both very good at passing the buck. You'll see. They do it all the time. You've seen Wendi on the stand. You've seen her in the interview room with Isom. 25 minutes in, Charlie. Jeffrey. Anybody. Not me. I mean, flipping out. She said that, didn't she, in the interview? It wasn't me. While she was half laughing. But back to this. She points her finger. She drops the point. Her dad was there when this happened. So, in other words, if there had been any kind of, which there is, any kind of questioning about, well, like what, that's funny, like your TV got, everything was broke on that morning, you had to have a TV repairman. Oh, no. It happened when my father was looking after them. Over to you, Dad. Pushing the buck straight away to Harvey, which we don't care about because Harvey must have agreed. She never just said that and then left it to be said, or for them to question Harvey and say, well, I believe you was there when one of the children threw something and it hit the TV. She would have had to gen him up. They would have had a tete-a-tete about that and he would have had to agree. Yeah, just say, I was looking after the kids. Because she would have used the excuse, oh, if they ask me this, that, and I don't know what I'll say. And, just say I was there when it happened. But as you can see on there, the repairman did say that the kid had said that he didn't do it. Now, I just wonder whether the impact of that day, if that child, whichever one it would be, I would imagine it would have been the older one, possibly at that time. I don't know. Still remembers that day. Because sometimes, do you ever remember something massive happening when you was like really young and you kind of always remember that certain things? I don't know anyway, but Harvey agreed to that alibi. That is what I'm saying. And the other point is, so like I've said before, well, even if you didn't know right at the start, as I've just mentioned a minute ago, he certainly knew afterwards. We know that because of the wiretaps. So he was still, at the very least, a co-conspirator. We know by those wiretaps that we listened to, a lot of the things that he said and he listened to was condemning. And he didn't go to the police about it. Obviously, he didn't. I would say at that point, how many of us would on our kids? I know we like to think we would. I don't know. I honestly, I am just being really, really honest. I think if I thought I had a psychopath on my hands, I think I would. But I'm just being really honest now. How many of us? I don't know. I really don't know on that. Anyway, so, yeah, there was obviously a tete-a-tete and an alibi set up between, and Donna would have been part of that, with Harvey and with Wendi. So that shows, and the fact that that money was available right at the start, that Harvey was in on this right at the start. Like I said, I've said it right at the start, and no matter how I've tried to think, because you do try to think sometimes, don't you? You question yourself, which you should, and think, well, maybe, what if we give him benefit of the doubt? Maybe he didn't know this. Maybe he didn't know that. I mean, we know that with regards to the bump, there was that sentence that come up in that conversation where Charlie had said, I think it was Charlie had said, Dad doesn't know yet. Or does Dad know yet? Or Donna had said it. I can't remember right off the top like that. But one of them had said it. But that was about the bump. That wasn't about, he didn't know. He didn't know anything. That was just at that stage about that incident. So you can see there, that repairman, there was nothing for him to gain or lose by saying anything with regards to what happened on his visit. He just merely filled in his report sheet and off he went on his way. But it's amazing really how much information is in that report sheet. I mean, he doesn't mention though in that report sheet anything about Wendi saying that her brother, like she said in the interview that her brother bought her the TV because it was cheaper than paying for a hitman. There's no mention of that. But then, would he do that? It's not really relevant. That tete-a-tete chatting and all that lot isn't really relevant for a repairman to put down. He wouldn't know to put something like that down. It didn't hold any relevance to him. But what did was what had happened with the TV, and it's vital information. And I think that validates quite a lot that we thought with regards Harvey, whether he was involved or not. The other thing that I want to say on that note, because I'm gonna go over to Donna in a minute, doing a similar thing. That emphasises what Wendi's like anyway. She pushes the book, as I've just said. So, Charlie, my dad, I wasn't here. Nothing is ever to do with her. She's always pointing a finger at somebody else. And like mother, like daughter, they're cut from the same cloth. Wendi has just got that from her mother. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I just want to play the video. I know we've seen quite a lot of this quite a lot of times, but I want you to listen to a couple of things that you've probably heard, and you may have heard and thought about them, but I just want you to listen to them now. A couple of things that I want you to watch for. Obviously, you're going to see Donna when she's speaking with her attorney. She's going to be laying it on thick. She's going to do the breathing thing. Obviously, Harvey's in the room as well, so she's got it all to do. She's going to be laying it on thick, and then wait until she turns and Sarah Dugan starts questioning her. She does do this little bit of drama in between with the breathing and everything else, but then you'll get to hear her do what Wendi does, I did mention before that she's pointed out that they was going to Vietnam because it was Harvey's idea. But she'll kind of elaborate a little bit now about it's further in a little bit on why, and it was his idea. Both Wendi and Donna, they come from a family that they're privileged, they're delusional, and they are delusional. They are narcissistic. I don't use the word often, but I can't help it with this family. They are very entitled. These are all words that we've all heard many times described to describe the Adelsons, but it's true. And it's very relevant in the way, especially Donna and Wendi, the way they handle situations. Now, because they're the weaker sex, supposedly, they've played on their roles. You've seen Wendi fluttering her eyelashes. You've seen Donna, I mean, she's even had to make out that a lesbian was coming onto her, in the jail. And, she's this, she's just this little woman that can't fend for herself and everything. And she could have thought of a different reason, but Wendi has learnt this from Donna, and Donna does this entitled and woe is me, I'm just a little woman, Harvey, you have to protect me. This is how she's gone through life, and this is how she's brought Wendi up. So I'm going to play this, just listen for it, and listen to the explanations of why they went to Vietnam. Again, she does believe that if she passes this book a bit, it'll take some of the stress off her. Don't forget, this is the woman as well. The day after Charlie's verdict, she was off to Vietnam. Who does that? Who leaves there? What mother? Leaves their kid like that. Irrelevant of what he is and what he's done and what he's not done, it doesn't matter. Who does that and then tells people not to tell him that where she's going? This is this little old woman here. So I want you to listen to this, and I want you to listen to how she passes the book, and just relate that slightly back to what I've just shown you with Wendi stating that Harvey was the one that was there when the TV got broken, and Charlie was going to buying her a TV because it was cheaper than hiring it, man. But it was only a joke. Anything but me. Listen.
What it is.
Okay, was there a time when you and I were speaking, and when you pulled the cover back, there was actually a guard there listening to your call?
Yes, there was.
Okay. And during the time that you and I are having conversations, do you also experience the same kind of problems with the phone that you had heard that Charlie had while talking to you, where the calls are dropped, etc.?
We've had it numerous times.
Okay. Are there times where we're not able to hear each other on the phone calls?
Yes.
Is there static on the phone calls?
There's static, and now you've been complaining because I have this shortness of breath, so you say I'm breathing very heavy, and it's hard to hear me.
Okay.
So it's difficult.
All right, let me ask you a few questions. We're requesting that His Honor allow you to be out on bond pending your trial so that you can assist in the preparation of your defense. If His Honor ordered that you reside here in Leon County and not leave Leon County until the conclusion of the trial, would you agree to do that?
Yes, of course.
If he placed you on an electronic monitor, would you agree to take that?
Yes.
Okay. If he required that you have a curfew from 7 o'clock at night until 7 o'clock in the morning, would you comply with the curfew?
I would do that.
Do you have the ability to do these things?
Yes.
Okay. You have the ability to get housing here in Tallahassee where you could live with your husband?
Sure.
Okay. And if he said that, you can leave outside of the curfew, you can leave to go meet with your lawyers, medical appointments if you need medical appointments, coming to court, those type of things, would you comply with those orders as well?
Yes, I'd be grateful just to get a night's sleep. It would be great.
Okay. If he ordered that you had to surrender your driver's license during the pendency from now until the end of the trial and not drive, would you agree to comply with that?
Yes, I would.
Have just one moment, please.
You can hear the breathing now. The breathing is coming on because she knows she's just being watched now.
Thought I had asked this, but I might not have. For the medical conditions that you have complained of during the time that you were speaking with the doctors and they said that they didn't give you the treatments that you were requesting, did they ever offer that they would have a doctor from the outside perform the treatment for you?
No.
I don't have anything further.
Stephen, cross-examination.
Yes, sir. All right, so the incident in the shower, after you let the inmate know that you did not like what she was doing by telling her to stop, did she ever try that again?
No.
And that inmate's no longer, or you didn't disclose the name of that inmate, but you did tell the investigator that that inmate is no longer in jail with you, right?
She's no longer there. She left shortly after that.
Okay. As far as the arm twist incident from October of 2024, you said you reported that in February of 2025?
Yes.
Okay. And you wouldn't give the name, you said you wouldn't give the name of her to the investigator either, okay?
No.
But you do know that if you would give her name, that instead of you being separated from the pod, she could be separated from you and you could be back with the general population.
Yeah, but she's not the only one that could hurt me. That's why I wouldn't do it. She had a half a dozen girls that came up to me.
Was there ever any physical violence by her or anyone she's friends with after that October 24 incident?
No, that was it, that day.
And by being in solitary confinement, does it give you an opportunity to have a quieter space where you can prepare for trial?
I guess it would be a quiet space if I could get some sleep and I would be able to concentrate on what I'm supposed to do. Yes, that would be helpful.
Do you also get in-person visits with your attorney in jail?
I do.
Okay, and when that happens, are you in a room alone with him or her or both?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
And y'all are able to have conversations then that are private?
yes.
Sorry, can I just say, Sarah Dugan there asked, are you in a room alone with your attorneys? And she said, yeah, don't forget, we've recently got this where we've got these telephone calls, wiretaps, where they've wiretapped Harvey's phone speaking to Donna. So we think all this has got to be confirmed a little bit more. We just need a little bit more info on that, really, but at least we've got that little bit of information now that she has said. And also, did you notice she was answering a few questions there, like after each other with Sarah Dugan, and her breathing was quite fine. It's only when the question gets a little bit difficult, then the breathing starts and we get the drama.
For the sciatic nerve, in December of 2024, were you offered a Solumedrol, a steroid injection for that pain that you declined?
I am going to object to the use of the medical records by the state based on the prior objection.
Stephen, do you have an ability to show that these records were not a part of what was obtained by Investigator Newland that is still disputed?
No, these are part of what was obtained by Investigator Newland, but my understanding is that the defense would have opened the door
by asking her about all of the
She brought it all up.
staff and what basically was not done for her.
As to that, I will permit the witness to answer. You may answer, Ms. Adelson.
Could you ask me one more time?
Yes, ma'am. For the sciatic pain that radiates down your right leg, were you offered a Solumedrol, a steroid injection, starting, and then after that, a Medrol, so a steroid dose pack that you declined until you were able to speak with your physician.
No, I told her that in the past I had gotten a steroid injection in my spine, and I know what needs to be done. That's not going to be the answer.
For your arm and shoulder pain, isn't it true that you reported you had mild pain in your left arm and
No,
shoulder?
I heard that gentleman say that before. I couldn't believe it. I told her that I had severe burning pain down the outer part of my arm. I never used the word mild pain. So I don't know where they got that from, but that's not what I said.
Okay. I'm going to show you the encounter from February 3rd, 2025 at 2:29 p.m. Under musculoskeletal, does it say positive for left upper extremity limited ROM, range of motion, comma, mild pain?
That's what it says, but that's not what I said.
Okay.
No way is that pain mild.
And so that's just what the doctor would have written down, but you're saying that's not what you told
I
the
ne-
doctor?
Clear as out.
You know, had that been given to me and I read it and I had to sign it, I would say I never said this. But I'm telling you, I never said mild pain.
Okay.
It's shooting hot pain down my arm.
For that injury, you did have an X-ray, and they did go over that X-ray with you and let you know that there was no fracture or dislocation.
There was no fracture, that's what she told me.
And you said that if you are given a bond, you will reside in Tallahassee, you will follow court orders. But when you were afraid of being arrested right after Charlie Adelson's trial, isn't it true that you hoped that you could get to the airport before you were arrested?
I wasn't afraid of being arrested.
What were you trying to get to the airport in time for? In that jail
My
cell?
husband and I were literally shocked and traumatized at what had happened to Charlie. And he said, we need to just get some peace. We need to catch our breath. We're going to go away somewhere. And I thought it was a good idea because I couldn't think straight. I really couldn't think straight. I was so upset, and so was he. And it was his idea. He said, sweetheart, let's go, just get away. We're going to just get away somewhere so we can have some time to think.
Okay, so your testimony is that you weren't trying to go to Vietnam because you wouldn't be able to be extradited from there.
So my husband actually had said, you know, we've been to Vietnam before. With friends, we were on vacation, and it really was like a place of peace. And so he said, if we go to a non-extradition country, then if the law enforcement decided that they wanted to arrest you or me, whatever, both, he said, we won't be sitting in a foreign prison waiting months to go back. We can buy a ticket and we can go home. And my understanding was that I could go home and I could turn myself in if that's what they wanted.
Okay, but you were hoping to make it out of America in time before you were arrested, right?
I wanted to get away. He wanted to get away. That's what we wanted to do. And it wasn't, we spoke to our attorneys. I asked them. They said there's no pending. We purposely called them to make sure it was legal to do it. And they said there's no, what were their words? There's no pending charges and there's no warrants. So you want to go, go. And so I thought you ask your attorneys and they tell you that, I'm going.
But Dan did tell you, as you say in the jail call, that knowing what they're thinking up there, I don't know if you'll make it out in time. I really don't. But that he said you might, or you might get to the airport and they'll stop you. It could happen.
That's what he said.
Right. So you went to the airport knowing that it could happen. They could stop you at the airport. You could end up being arrested.
Yeah, that's what Dan said.
Right. And when you were looking at places to go those couple of days after Charlie Adelson's trial, You were specifically looking, though, for countries that did not have extradition with the U.S.
For the reason I just told you.
Right. And the reason that you're saying that you were looking for countries with no extradition was so that you could get back faster in order to be arrested in the U.S.
No, that's not what I said. It's because, I don't know, maybe we watch too much TV or too many movies, but I've seen movies where people are stuck in like third world prisons and waiting and waiting and waiting. And my feeling was, this is not what we want to happen. If the state says they want us to come back, we'll buy a ticket, we'll come back on our own terms. We don't have to be sitting in a jail somewhere. We'll come back home and turn ourselves in.
Couldn't you have done that no matter what country you went to?
No.
No?
No.
You couldn't have found out that you had a warrant for your arrest and come back if there was an extradition
Well,
policy?
not if they would. I'm not in law enforcement, but it appears that they would notify law enforcement in that country, and then they could hold you in a jail for God knows how long. And I didn't want that to happen. So he said, well, that's why we'll do it this way, honey. That way, if they do notify us, so we get a phone call from our attorney or from law enforcement, then we'll buy a ticket, we'll go home.
Okay.
And so it would have been on our terms. That was the point. That was the reason that he thought that was a good idea.
And your
Before you
testimony.
continue, Ms. Dugan, we are over time. If you please can get to your most pertinent questions.
Yes, sir. I guess your testimony ultimately, though, is that you were not trying to go to a country with no extradition because you were trying to avoid being held accountable for this charge. That's your testimony?
I didn't do this.
Okay.
Being held accountable for this is not what happened.
Being arrested for this case.
Being arrested?
Right. That was not what you were trying to avoid by trying to go to a non-extradition country.
We were trying to get our heads on straight and just breathe.
That's all I have. Thank you.
So you can see there that, I stopped counting 4 times, maybe 5. There was reasons why it was, the reasons why they went there was because of Harvey. And she doesn't mind saying, whether I got arrested, he got arrested. And I thought, look at you, throwing him under the bus, because you can't go down unless you drag another one with you. And that is what you and Wendi are both like. Wendi believes that, if she just keeps pushing everybody forward, then it's going to come out that she was the innocent party in all this. She didn't have a clue. That's not going to happen, Wendi. That is not going to happen. You sound on the stand, in my honest opinion, as ridiculous as your mother, as ridiculous as the extortion. It's like, did you go to the crime scene? No. Yes, I did. Is that how you spelled Jibbers? I don't know. Yes, that's right. You absolutely ridiculous. The whole family, the whole lot of yous are a load of entitled criminals, in my opinion. I've said it now. Just my opinion. All the evidence shows you're all involved. And that's it. If I can just interrupt myself, you know what I'm going to say? Down there is a little like button. Listen, if you've got that far, you must be finding it a little bit interesting. Just a tidge a bit. Just hit that tidge like button. And if you want to come back and see me again, hit the subscribe. I do appreciate it. Sometimes, there's thousands watching, and there's only a small portion of you that actually hits that like button, and it really does help my channel out. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free, just to say, yeah, you've done all right, Dawn. 5 out of 10. Thank you. Or for any people that was not convinced, who said, no, I don't think I don't think Harvey. I think he knew afterwards, or I think he found out at his birthday party. No, I didn't. The money had already left his account. Harvey Adelson, if you look at the history of Harvey, and the business, what's the right word? The business predicaments he's got into over money. Harvey Adelson doesn't mess about with money. That's why he's got so much. That's why he's invested. He's not this silly old man. He's got investments. He's got properties that he rents out. He bought and sold. Well, Charlie sold his businesses and investments to Harvey when he was going to court, and then he bought them back, and they've gone back and forth. He's not some silly old man doing that. And don't think for a minute Charlie is the one that's telling him what to do, or with regards money. Harvey's run his life investing, earning money, and even selling a car to Magbanua. What was it, $1,500? A Lexus. Yeah, you don't do things like that. He was involved right at the start. I think where people may be getting a little, I don't want to say confused or mixed up, or because I don't want to insult anybody like that, but where they may not have picked up is the fact that Harvey isn't one of the big voice boxes like Donna and Charlie. He's quieter, but he's just as lethal. He handed over that money to Donna, and he knew why. He went with her to hand over that money to Charlie, and he knew why. He didn't hide in the bushes anywhere while she handed it over, or go and sit in the living room while she took 100,000 in the kitchen to Charlie. That didn't happen. He was there. He was present. He knows everything. He's part of this alibi with regards what happened to the TV. And as you can see, for the date, on the date of the repair was the date of the murder, and the day that the alibi was that Charlie was with one of the kids when they lobbed something at the TV. He's been part of it all along. Definitely. And I'm hoping something comes out now in these calls. I hope they've got something. My only thing is that, I'm hoping they've got something for both of them. But yeah, we've still got Wendi to go. I have no doubt that they're going to get Wendi. I don't know how they couldn't, to be fair. So, just let me see if there is anything else. Yeah, just to add, if on these calls where they've been where they've wiretapped Harvey's phone, if you hear Harvey say at all in any of them calls, look, you wrote me into this. You've made me guilty by association, and because I didn't open my mouth on you when I did find out, but like you and Charlie and Wendi have done all this, and now blah blah blah. If something like that comes out, I think he's frightened to death of her, to be honest. But I've also heard that is a force to be reckoned with. I believe that, looking at some of his business things, where he's gone back and said he's not paying people because they didn't finish the job, even though they'd done half the research. That was with one solicitor. That's Harvey Adelson. That was only so many years ago. I'm not talking about decades ago. So that's the guy you're dealing with here. But if we do hear him say on them calls, well, actually, no, Donna, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. What are you trying to do? Make it look like I knew about this right at the start. What is it? It's not bad enough. Blah blah. If he says things like that, which excuses him, and she says, well, she confirms his point, then, okay, fine. I'll hold my hands up. But he's still a co-conspirator at the very least, because he's still known about it for decades, a decade. So, yeah. I know I'm right. He was involved. I know he was involved. They were all involved. Every one of them. Yeah, I'm going to leave it there. There's something else I was going to talk about there, but I'll leave it for another time because it's not really relatable with this. So, tell me what you think. I'll tell you what. You tell me if Harvey has got any way out of this, because I do not think he has. Right to the day of the murder, his name was used. His name was used, and I know that when we go over the wiretaps and everything, you hear a lot more in them conversations with Donna and Charlie. I might go through a few things and see if I can find anything else relevant. I think most of them have been covered, but just anything to support anything else that I've said. I mean that it's so frustrating watching Donna there, because when her attorney is asking her things, it's all that. And listen, I'm soft. I am soft, but I'm not wearing it. And then Sarah Dugan sets about her and has a few questions for her, and she's then she forgets, and she's answering. She's good for her age. She's good, but then when Sarah Dugan gets her a little bit confused and a little bit messed up, then she's because she needs time to think. Then she's then the breathing starts, because she wants you to just concentrate on that for a while she gets her head around what she's saying, and then all the breathing, and then all that starts again. So yeah, that's what we can see. We've all seen that anyway, haven't we? We've all seen what a little drama queen she is. I still can't wait. I mean, in my opinion, I think it's Donna. I think off the back of Donna, it's going to be Harvey, and then Wendi. Yeah, definitely. So that's me done, guys. I hope you're all okay. I hope you're all okay. I hope you're all okay, and you're all got plans for the weekend, and you're gonna have a nice weekend. It's summer over here now. We're getting there finally, although it has rained nearly all day today. But yeah. So and thank you for my chair, everybody. I bought 2 chairs from Buy Me a Coffee, so thank you for that. I do appreciate that. I do appreciate everybody's support everywhere on all the platforms that I am covering. Yeah, thank you so much. I don't know what else. I'm trying to think if there's anything. If there's anything within this trial that you want me to cover, that you feel that you're not, maybe that you're not understanding too well, or you're in two minds about, and you want to know what my take is on it, just let me know, and I'll happily, if I've not already covered it, I'll happily jump on it and see if I can just cover it some way or another. Right, guys, so that's me for today. So have a lovely weekend, and all I'd like to say is take care, stay safe, and come back. I'll see you soon. Bye.